Hi, I am a coral and I live in Australia. No, not on the Great Barrier Reef, on the other side of Australia. I live on a coral reef called the Rowley Shoals. It's not just one atoll reef, but three. There is Imperious, Clerk, and Mermaid Reef. I live on Mermaid Reef. I don't usually see a lot of humans. We used to see lots of Indonesian fishermen, but that was back in the day. This is me. And this is my family. They've been around for a really long time. I also live with my friends. Did you notice how quickly the water moves around me? Pretty cool, hey? It's because of the currents going around the reef. You've probably heard of the awesome current that we have here in WA, the Lewin current. It travels all along the WA coast and brings warm water. Well, there are also other, smaller currents driven by waves and tides which can affect my entire reef. Around where I live, waves are formed by the winds and the tropical cyclones that come up from the north. And the tides as well. They happen because of our super cool moon. The moon pulls the water towards it, and this changes depending which side of the planet she's facing. This makes the whole water move on the reef. In northwestern Australia, we have some of the biggest tides in the world. In the Kimberley, the tidal range can go up to 10 metres. It's huge. On most of the atoll reefs of the world, currents are either driven by the tides or the waves. Currents on my neighbour reef, Scott Reef, are only driven by the tides. On my other neighbour reef, the Ningaloo Reef, currents are only driven by waves. But my atoll is quite special. Tides act more on the eastern side of the reef. When the tide rises, the water flows in over the reef and fills up the lagoon. When the tide drops, the water flows out, mainly through the channel. Waves act more on the western side of the reef. The waves make the water flow over the reef to the lagoon, and the water then exits through the channel. So both the waves and the tides drive the current around my atoll, and they carry a lot of things with them, so they're really important for the reef. For example, during the summer, when the water gets really warm, currents bring fresh seawater full of food to the reef. They also carry our larvae outside and all around the reef to make sure that our species keeps living. However, sometimes it also brings less cool stuff like plastic from land, which sucks because it sticks around for a really long time. But don't even get me started on plastic pollution. You're probably wondering, how do I know all of this? Well, scientists come over every now and then and put out some weird things around where I live, and with them they can monitor the currents. They want to understand how the water moves on the reef to better protect us. I like them. They try to take care of us.